one split-second emotional decision could ruin your life forever. And by the time you realize, it's already too late to undo. I genuinely think that one of the fastest ways to ruin your life is to make big decisions when you're emotional. Abandoning a lifelong goal after a few failures, destroying your relationship with someone you love in a moment of rage, resorting to violence in a heated argument with the wrong kind of people. These decisions feel right in the moment, but they leave permanent scars, and unlike most mistakes, you don't get a second chance to fix them.
Yeah, I know that already. That's common sense.
Do you? Do you really know? Because there's a difference between knowing and doing. You and I both know that you've made decisions that you regret. Emotional moments where you've done something that had long-lasting consequences.
Okay, yeah, but I didn't know better at the time. You can't blame me for that.
But you said you knew. You said that you knew that making a big decision when you're emotional was bad.
That's not what I mean, okay? It's not that. It's just that my reaction was justified, okay? It made sense in the moment.
And knowing what you know now, if I gave you the chance to go back in time and change it, would you? Listen, it's not that you didn't know better. You did. It's not that your reaction or your decision wasn't justified. It was. But that doesn't mean it's the right answer. What you need is clarity.
Oh, shut up with your woo-woo bullshit. None of this is even that deep. It's not like we're gonna become fucking murderers if we make an emotional decision from time to time. Don't act like you're so fucking smart telling us what to do when you probably make the exact same mistakes.
I do make the exact same mistakes. That's why I make these videos, because I need them just as much as you do. Because we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And you know what? There was a 50-50 chance that this video you're watching right now wouldn't even exist. Because as of August 8th, 2025, the day I'm recording this video, 1 day ago, I was about to quit YouTube.
Bullshit, you're gonna quit YouTube. You're just making up random stories to get sympathy likes and make yourself sound more interesting than you actually are, you fucking loser.
It's been nearly a year since one random video of mine blew up and reached over 500,000 views. And ever since that point, I decided to take YouTube seriously, to chase my dream of inspiring young people out there who feel lost and need a direction to head in, to give the younger version of myself advice that I never had, and just to document my journey to hopefully becoming successful. And I did that. For 30 hours every single week, I grinded this shit. I tried to learn how to make better YouTube videos, get better at editing, write better scripts, write better titles, test everything. And it felt like the better I got, the more time I put into something, the worse my metrics became, the worse the views got. To the point where I sacrificed my friends, I sacrificed my family time, my health, my own grades, just to make this thing happen. And it's getting worse and worse and worse the more time I put into it. And so you tell me, was it justified? Was it justified that I wanted to quit? To delete this channel? Because I knew that I would keep coming back to this, because I love doing this. This is the only thing that I want to do, to help people. And I knew that even if I said I was going to quit, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to restrain myself. And so I was about to delete my channel. And that's the scary part. Because even in knowing all of this, even making an entire video about how you shouldn't make emotional decisions, I almost did the exact same thing. And I love making these videos. I never want to stop making these videos. I never want to stop helping young people learn the lessons that I think are important. And yet I was about to throw it all away. I was about to abandon 1,000 hours worth of work. A project that I worked for over a year on. A project that I sacrificed so much for. All because I was frustrated for a moment. You sit here and laugh at the message, disregarding it, thinking, oh, this only applies to extreme cases like drugs or violence. But no, it applies to every part of your fucking life. Your emotions don't care about logic or reason, but you know who does? Your future self. Because you and I both know that we've made life way too hard for ourselves. Too many times.
Then how did you do it?
What do you mean?
If it was 50-50, how did you decide to keep on going? To stop yourself from, making that decision when you were so emotional?
I had just finished a filming session, I guess you could call it, and I was sitting in this room just contemplating on that decision. But my thoughts were interrupted by my grandparents who were cooking dinner for me at the time, and they yelled at me from down the stairs to come down and eat. And so not wanting to really dwell on such a hard decision, I decided to go downstairs and go eat food. And then normally, I take my food and bring it back upstairs and go back to working. But that day, I decided that it was just not a good day to really push through. I didn't feel like working that much, and so I decided to sit down and eat with them. And we talked and about nothing really important, but it was nice, and I began to calm down, to say the least. I began to forget about all that, that frustration. And when I got back upstairs and went back to my computer, I realized just how close I was to making a mistake that I would have regretted forever, and making a mistake that would be practically irreversible. And so if there's one thing you should take away from this video right here, it is that if you're not in a life or death situation, and you're not in a situation where you have to quickly act fast, and you are in this very emotional state, the only thing you should be thinking about is, how do I get myself out of this box? Because when you're in this very hyper emotional mindset, not only are you not thinking with reason, but you're going to be biased because you're thinking with emotion. And that causes you to make some very horrible mistakes. Think of it almost as if you're drunk. And so the way we fix that, the way we solve that, is to bring ourselves out of the environment that is inducing this kind of stress or this kind of emotion in the first place. And once you're able to do that, you give yourself the ability to get yourself out of this metaphorical box that you put yourself in, to get rid of that tunnel vision, to be able to think and see clearly, almost as if you're sobering up from being drunk.
Isn't that just running away from your problems?
No. There's a big difference between running away from your problems and taking a step back to gather yourself. There's this idea that you have to face your problems, you have to confront them and not run away from them. And to some extent, I agree. But people think that when you're facing times of frustration and struggle, that the only answer is to keep on pushing, to force your way through life. And again, I agree that the work needs to be done, and your emotions won't change how reality is. But if you continue to force your way through life without a mental reset, your emotional state becomes more unstable. And like I said, when you are emotional, you aren't thinking straight. There's a higher chance that you do something stupid or you do something that you regret. And that makes it less likely that you actually achieve your goals. But when you take a step back, when you get yourself out of the box, it gives you time to think about your situation. It helps you align, or realign, I should say, realign your actions to your goals. It stabilizes your emotions and gives you time to assess your circumstances. And you'll often find that once you give yourself this time, that the problems and the emotions that you were feeling before meant little to nothing at all.
So what? Are you saying that I need to take a vacation, like a mental health week?
People think that when their emotional state is unstable, that they need entire weeks off. but you can get the same effect in as little as a couple of hours. Mental resets are not holidays. They do not help you heal over time. Instead, they give you free time so that you could assess the situation in a more logical perspective. And the speed at which that happens is subjective. And so the next time you are overwhelmed with emotion, whether it is sadness, anger, frustration, joy, realize that you can't trust yourself right now, and that reality isn't what it seems in that moment. And just think about, how do I get out of this box and return to baseline? I see. Thank you for helping me.